Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Wellness Minute. I'm April Newman, registered dietitian nutritionist here at the Aging and Wellness Institute. And coming this week for the Wellness Minute, I'm going to introduce you to just a couple of the changes that are coming to the good old-fashioned nutrition label. So in case you weren't aware, some of the biggest changes in the last couple of decades are coming to the nutrition label. So just to help remind you, this is what the nutrition label used to look like. So this is the old one. And this is what the new label is going to look like. So not too crazy different, but there are a couple of key things that I'm going to highlight here real briefly. First off, what's changing? Probably one of the most noticeable things that's changing on the label is that calories are going to be in larger and bold font to make it more clear and obvious to the consumer how many calories are in each serving. So that's one thing you need to check, is how many servings are in the package, but the calories are going to pertain to one serving of that food. And another change associated with that is that the serving size is going to be required to reflect what people are expected to actually eat. So for example, for something like this, a bottle of juice, let's say for example, instead of saying 8 ounces for a serving size, if it's a 16-ounce bottle, the serving size will need to be 1 bottle or 16 ounces, assuming that people are probably going to be drinking the whole bottle. What else is changing? Well, about halfway down, you'll notice added sugars is going to be new. So total sugars has always been there under the carbohydrate section, but added sugars is important because it will allow the consumer to be able to tell the difference between the sugars that are present naturally in the food, especially if it's something like fruit or dairy, which is where we find most sugars in nature, or if it's added sweetener, added during processing. And the reason this is so important is because sugar or sweeteners are added to a lot of things. And if you're not careful, you can get way more than you need. And so this will help to make consumers more educated and informed if they're trying to watch their added sugar intake. So keep an eye out for that as well. Another change is at the bottom, where it used to say vitamins A, vitamin C, they're changing these to nutrients of public concern that people may not be getting enough of. Specifically, they're changing the nutrients at the bottom to include vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. And along with all of these, they will also continue to have the percent daily value. So just a quick little guide to what percent daily value is and how you can use it at home. A quick rule of thumb is if it's 20% daily value or higher, then that food is a rich source of that ingredient. Now this can be a good or bad thing. If it's 20% of your daily value for sodium and you're trying to watch sodium, you might want to keep an eye on that. Or vice versa, if it's 20% daily value for dietary fiber, that's a great thing. That means that it's a rich source of dietary fiber, whatever that food item is. And on the other side, if it's 5% daily value or less, that item is considered a low source of that nutrient. And again, this can be good or bad. If it's 5% or less of your daily value for saturated fat, for example, that's a good thing. If it's 5% of your daily value for fiber, not such a good thing. Hopefully you can use these tips and techniques to help you understand the new nutrition labels, all of which should be updated and on all of the foods that you see by 2020. For your Wellness Minute for this week, I'm April Newman, registered dietitian nutritionist. Thanks, and see you next time.